rocking All-American movie starring a young up-and-coming actor named Ronald Reagan. Many Midwesterners are enjoying the last days of unusually warm weather. The warm breeze blowing through the open windows with the sashes dancing like a young couple doing the joke. Bing Crosby's Only Forever, soothing entire families as the smell of a warm apple pie emits a comforting smell of delicious flavor throughout the home while cooling on the windowsill, taunting the children playing baseball on the sidewalk. Yes, life in the Midwest was the epitome of the American dream. The summer of 1940 was known as Indian Summer, a period of unseasonably warm weather that extends into the fall. Duck hunters were becoming more frustrated with the weather than they were the number of mosquitoes that were laying host to every trip to the duck blind. Duck hunters spent the early part of the duck season hunting for local birds that stay in the area throughout the year. These include teal, widgeon, shovelers, and the chance mallard. While waterfowlers enjoy the outdoors and taking in the local wildlife, what hunters yearn for is the yearly migration. Duck hunters lie in wait for weather that lets many others nestle around the fireplace with a hot cup of coffee. During the warm fall, ducks were spending their time comfortably gorging themselves on the Canadian prairies before their long migration south to escape the oncoming cold. Every year, as the winter bears its ugly head, ducks migrate south. Their food sources begin to be covered in hairy amounts of snow, while their favorite water holes begin to freeze over. The coming of cold weather would darken the Midwestern skies with ducks of all varying species. Watching their streamlined flight with sharp, moving, fast wings would make any duck hunter feel like a child seeing the marvelous spectacle again for the first time. During these warm days of fall, duck hunters were eagerly awaiting, wishing for the first cold fronts that would set in motion the yearly biological clock. What's going on, viewer? Begin the same great southern migration that generations of waterfowl had before. These duck hunters would soon learn the dangerous lesson of face up a stage old phrase. Be careful what you wish for. The weather forecast that each of us had access to at our fingertips was not a reality. 40. During this time, weather bureaus only worked 12 to 15 hours per day, taking rudimentary observations twice a day at 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. The local bureaus would transmit their information to the Weather Service in Chicago. From Chicago, the weather forecasts were telegraphed throughout the Midwest, from Indiana to the Dakotas. Forecast information was thus spread through a variety of methods, including advertisement cards located in public buildings, telegraphs, and radio broadcasts. Access to this information was elusive for many, especially rural farmers that depended on their farmer's almanac for any pertinent information. Anyone that has lived in the Midwest knows that the weather changes as often as set hand on the clock moves. Due to only having what's going on, people? Forecast readings and inconsistent weather patterns. What do y'all think about this one? The forecast on November 10th called for gonna be a whiskey barrel bar with wildlife on it. Snow, wind. No, I'm not done yet. A mixture of weather systems that would finally begin the migration. Oh, well, this one is actually going to Memphis. It's already sold and bought. Technology was not able to identify the looming storm, but couldn't in their wildest dreams predict the magnitude. Doing a flooded timber for a client down there. In early November, the storm was beginning to gather speed. Pressure was beginning to fall in the Pacific Northwest, formulating gale force winds. These winds led to the collapse of the Tacoma. What do you think about it, though? How's it look? The third longest suspension bridge in the world at that time. As the storm traveled over the Rockies, the cold, dry polar air gained speed as it swept across the prairies. During this time, there was a current of warm, moist subtropical air being blown northwards from the Gulf of Mexico. As the two weather systems converged, so was the creation of the Simpson combination that would forever change life in the Midwest as people knew it. Unaware of what was truly about to bestow the Midwest, duck hunters were enthusiastic, and the following day was the widely recognized holiday of Armistice Day. Armistice Day was a celebration of the armistice or ceasefire that was signed in 1918 to end the fighting of World War I. Armistice Day would be celebrated yearly on the anniversary of the armistice signing on November 11th to commemorate all the fallen soldiers and return of peace following the most widespread global conflict which humankind had ever seen at that point. In 1954, President Dwight D. Eisenhower would change the name of Armistice Day to what we now know today as Veterans Day, to celebrate all veterans of the U.S. military. In 1940, Armistice Day fell on a Monday. Kids were off from school, and many adults were not required to report to work. Instead, many Americans took the opportunity to enjoy patriotic parades and speeches to celebrate. Many duck hunters believe that the current events of the brewing cold front and the day off work match made in heaven. Waterfowl hunting is still a popular sport today, playing close to 80,000 registered duck hunters in Minnesota's population of 5.5 million alone. In 1940, Minnesota reported 120,000 duck hunters out of their population of 2.7 million. As many wide-eyed and eager duck hunters arose in the morning of November 11th, 1940, they were met with 55-degree weather and a slight breeze. For any true Midwesterner, this was short-sleeved weather. Duck hunters grabbed their thermos of coffee, shotgun, and flannel shirt as they walked out the door. In the black darkness,
Yeah, y'all let me know what you think about it.
hunters idled their skiffs.
It's going to be a whiskey barrel bar with a wildlife scene, a flooded timber going all the way around.
Hunters took their claim and marched.
Right now, I'm only about halfway, almost to the halfway point on it, but it's getting there.
Next was the tedious procedure of placing hand-carved wooden decoys on the water. Decoys are model ducks that are used to visually attract flying waterfowl to make them feel comfortable and land at the given spot chosen by the hunter. Hunters often use a surgical type of precision in placing their decoys in just the right manner to mimic real ducks that will result in successful hunt. As the first signs of the warm glow of sunlight began to rise over the horizon, hunters began to hunker down their rolled up flannel shirts, blue jeans tucked inside their headquarters. As the sun's reflection began to warm cold faces from darkness, the winds of change choreographed the performance of ripples on the water's surface. Hopeful hunters fly white to the wind to bring morning flights of decoys, hearing the sound of fast flapping wings before seeing beautiful flocked green heads of mountains cruising the sky. As the morning drew on, the weather worsened. In a matter of hours, the temperature dropped by 10 degrees. The slight warm breeze increased to 20-mile-per-hour winds, and a light rain began to fall. This wasn't alarming to the hunters in the water that morning. Bad weather meant that ducks were going to be flying, and hunters had to be ready at any moment to take their shots. After all, the sight that every duck hunter dreams about in hearing sports, a duck landing on the water, whatever you get. As ducks are flying in the sky, many become interested in the spread of decoys that almost appears too good to resist. The flying ducks, unsure of what lies below, circle the decoys many times, circling above before committing to land, using this crucial time to guarantee that the ducks below are going to offer a warm welcome. For duck hunters, this spectacle offers the ultimate test of patience. If the hunter moves, the birds may scare away. If the hunter didn't get the decoy spread perfectly, the ducks may realize the trap being set for them. If the hunter decides to shoot too early, the ducks will be out of range and fly away, leaving their worries behind. Minutes that felt like hours later, hunters are rewarded with a picturesque image of a fully covered bird. For ducks to land, they need to slow down. Ducks will fly into the wind, wings cut to slow their speed, feet stretched out, brace for. This is the moment that the hunter has been waiting for. Pulling up their shot.
Let me do this 1 second, people. I got to put my
Feet on the duck.
tablet on shoulder.
Watch the bird fall from the sky. Loose feathers floating down to earth, coupled with the plopping sound of the duck, being the final sensation of reward for all the hard work and patience that culminate in this very moment.
Waterfowl hunting in the 1930s and 40s would have looked very simplistic by today's standards. Now, a lot of duck hunters that hunt their homes on the morning of Armistice Day in 1940 would have had a lot of items that have on the table before you. Starting with what I'm wearing, a lot of duck hunters would have.
There you go for y'all just tuning in.
Shirt, much like mine. They also would have left their hold of blue jeans and to protect themselves.
Y'all go ahead and give it a like and give me a subscribe if you can. I'm trying to build up this YouTube channel.
Out of your eyes. A lot of people wear hats that look like this, called Jones hats. Now, to protect themselves even further in case the weather were to, per se, get worse, a lot of men had their jackets. And a lot of men brought whatever jacket they could get their hands on. This is an example of a jacket made in the 1940s that a duck hunter very well could have brought with them that day. The lucky duck hunters had what are called wax canvas jackets. Now, wax canvas is a jacket that's made out of canvas that's applied with a big layer of wax. And what that does is help make the material water resistant. So it is still not waterproof, but it does help. Some of the accessories that the duck hunters would have had were duck calls such as these. Now, right here is what your typical duck hunter would have had. This is a hand-caught wooden duck call. And these were almost impossible.
All right, everybody.
That's became very popular for